Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice to the motion of extension of time, the Environmental Management and Coordination Strategic and Integrated Environmental Assessment and Environmental Audits, number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025. That aware that the Environmental Management and Coordination Strategic and Integrated Environmental Assessment and Environmental Audits number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025 were tabled in the Senate on Wednesday, 9th April 2025 and referred to the Select Committee on Delegated Legislation for consideration pursuant to Section 12(1) of the Statutory Instruments Act, cognizant that the committee is required to make a report within 28 sitting days after the date of referral of the instrument by the Senate, pursuant to Section 15(2) of Statutory Instruments Act, which lapsed on Thursday, 17th July 2025, aware that Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act provides that by a resolution, Parliament may extend the time for consideration of a statutory instrument by a period not exceeding 21 days, noting that the committee is in receipt of concerns by the public on the imposition of exorbitant fees and justified and punitive fee increments through the said regulations, thus compelling the committee to further interrogate the issues. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves to extend the timeline for the consideration of environmental management and coordination, strategic and integrated environmental assessment and environmental audits, number 2, Regulations 2025, Legal Notice number 71 of 2025, for a further 21 days pursuant to Section 15(3) of the Statutory Instruments Act to enable the committee consider objections raised by the public and make its resolutions on or before 7th of August 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, honorable senators, we have 11 questions that are due for response this morning. We have 2 CSs. We will start with the CS in charge of water, who has 2 questions. That is question number 63 and question number 96. Now, we need to agree on how we are going to prosecute that business. We only have up to 1 p.m. to get the response and interrogate the responses from the 2 CSs. And therefore, I will be allocating time to each of these questions. So each question will be given a maximum of 15 minutes. So after the expiry of 15 minutes, we will move to the next question so that we cover all the 11 questions. I'm informed that the CS in charge of water is already in the chamber. Clerk, can you confirm that? Thank you. Honorable CS, welcome to the Senate once again. We will straight away move to question number 63 by the Honorable Senator for Kitui County, who I'm told is not present. However, he had delegated Senator Wafula to ask this question on his behalf. You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity and to welcome our good minister here. I want to go straight to the question that has been presented here, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Senator for Kitui, Honorable Enoch Wambua, to ask the Cabinet Secretary for Water and Sanitation, question number 1. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide an update on the status of the solarization plan for the Wakituki Irrigation Scheme project, as well as the reasons for any delays or challenges encountered during its implementation? B, what is the current status of the fencing plan for the initial 500 acres of land under the Wakituki Irrigation Scheme, and could the Cabinet Secretary explain the reasons behind any delays in completing the fencing? C, could the Cabinet Secretary elaborate on the overall progress of the Wakituki Irrigation Scheme and outline the specific measures being taken to ensure the project becomes fully operational without any further delay? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable CS, you may proceed to respond. However, your written response has been circulated to all honorable senators, and therefore you need not read verbatim. To save on time, you may just highlight the response that you've already filed. You may proceed.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, good morning. Thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Speaker, to address the House. And the question on Wakituki Irrigation Scheme is, the responses are on page 5 of the circulation. And just a brief background, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, is that Wakituki Irrigation Scheme is in Seikuru, that is in Mwingi North constituency, Kitui County. And it was a project that was done in the year 2013 to 2017. The scheme was meant to cover approximately 1,000 acres. And the first 500 acres were completed, and there is mango farming in the 500 acres. The remaining 500 had suffered issues with power, but this was resolved by installation of transformers. Honorable Speaker, the main challenge here was the power bill. That is the O&M, operations and maintenance. And the bills were high because this was a pumping scheme. But NIA and working hand in hand with REREC have developed a concept note to solarize the irrigation scheme, and this partnership has done preliminary designs that will cost approximately 400 million to implement. The concept note, Honorable Speaker, has been submitted to the National Treasury for funding consideration. Honorable Speaker, on the B part of the question, where Honorable member asked about the status of the initial 500 acres of land, we can confirm, Honorable Speaker, that the Wakituki Irrigation Scheme borders Kora Game Reserve, and this exposes it to human-wildlife conflict that is expected in such kind of scenarios. And to address this, the initial part of the contract allowed fencing of the first 500 acres, which was done, but because of other challenges of these has been vandalized. Some sections of the fence have been vandalized. And the remedy for that, Honorable Speaker, is that in the concept note that has been submitted to Treasury, fencing is part of that concept note. Part C of the question, Honorable Speaker and honorable members, was to elaborate on the overall progress of the scheme and outline the measures being taken to ensure the project becomes fully operational. And Honorable Speaker, the plans to solarize the scheme as a long-term strategy that is aimed at lowering operation and maintenance expenses is on the way once funding is secured. But for long-term sustainability of the project, capacity building efforts are ongoing to empower irrigation water use associations, we call them IWA, to effectively manage and maintain the scheme. And Honorable Speaker, the IWAs have been sensitized, supported,